This Wednesday, you can come watch me recite poetry in the statewide Poetry Out Loud competition, where I will be reciting not one, not two, but possibly three poems. The seats are free and you can have the whole cushion, but you'll only need the edge. I hope to see you there. This is the NumNutz Show. I'm your host, NumNutz, and on Wednesday, I will be competing in the statewide Poetry Out Loud competition. So, in preparation, I figured I'd look back at the regional level and assess my performance. See things I did well on, things I did not so well on, and see where I can improve and where I should aim for more of the same. The words to the poem are right on screen, so you at home can follow along. And without further ado, let's begin this assessment. Fiddle with the mic for quite a while here. You just gotta bear with me. All right, here we go.
Ball's Bluff by Herman Melville. A Reverie, October 1861. One noonday at my window in the town, I saw a sight, saddest that eyes can see.
So, that first line feels a little monotone to me. I should have emphasized saddest a little more, and also sight, like makes sight more of an outrage, I suppose. One noonday at my window in the town, I saw a sight, saddest that eyes can see. Just anything I can do to move forward is something that just to me felt like it could have used more. Anyway.
Young soldiers marching lustily unto the wars.
Same thing with lustily there. I did it a little bit, but I felt that delivery of lustily was a little, I don't know, lacking. I need a little more on that.
With fifes and flags in mottoed pageantry, while all the porches, walks, and doors were rich with ladies cheering royally.
So I guess I got comfortable up there. I get into it now with and doors, emphasizing stuff like that, cheering royally. There's some like rasp there almost. I don't really know what it's for, but it does enhance the word anyway, royally. I think that is good there. So first stanza, halfway through it, I kind of pick it up a little bit. I just need to remember when I get up there on Wednesday to start with that energy and not kind of feel my way through it until the energy finds me. So
they moved like Juny morning on the wave. Their hearts were fresh as clover in its prime. It was the breezy summertime. Life throbbed so strong. How should they dream that death in a rosy clime would come to thin their shining throng?
again, it just feels a little flat, like the how should they dream. Just maybe emphasize that it's a question. How should they dream? You know?
Youth feels immortal, like the gods sublime. Weeks passed, and at my window, leaving bed, by night I mused, of easeful sleep bereft. On those brave boys, war, thy theft!
So you pick up the energy there. I mean, the poem kind of takes a little outraged tone. So the increase in volume, I would say, is pretty warranted. Really helps enhance that tone. Going back as well, emphasizing feels to make it, youth feels immortal. It's not immortal, though. So the emphasis on feels is definitely a plus there. And then also the increase in volume at war, thy theft.
Some marching feet found.
And then immediately after that volume, take a pause, slow down, and that sets the tone for the rest of this, because there is a shift from here kind of outraged, and then here it's a lot more somber.
Pause at last, by cliffs Potomac cleft. Wakeful, I mused, while in the street, far footfalls died away till none were left.
See, in that there, far footfalls died away till none were left. I would like a little bit more emotion there, I suppose. Just a little sadder. Because, I mean, these soldiers who marched lustily are now realizing how horrible war is, and they're all all dying until none are left. So I feel I should play that less flat and more emotion, more sadness. But that's Ball's Bluff. All in all, this being my first poem, this is the one I perform out of the gate. This sets the bar for my next two. I think it's a good piece. I think I can convey the message well. It's just the part that makes this I don't want to say subpar, but the part that makes it so I can improve here is the I don't know conversationality. I don't even know if that's a word, but this poem feels very anecdotal. So going through, at times it is decently flat, because when throughout the day are you super animated just talking to a friend? Because that's, I suppose, what this poem sort of feels like. But as a poetry reading, I'm going to be competing against much more dramatic folk. So maybe I should intend to put more meat and potatoes in between the words and not just say them. So I guess that's my feedback for this one. I'll have to work on it. But now I'll pull up my second poem and we'll dive into that one. Chicago is sized a little differently, so I had to fool around with how I had it set up here, but hopefully that's not too small to see. Anyway, alright, let's get into this one. So the second time I got the memo and actually went around the side of the stage, so there's improvement
Chicago,
there. Oh.
by Carl Sandburg. Hog butcher for the world. Toolmaker. Stacker of wheat.
See, maybe just a longer pause. Just a hair, though, Hog butcher. Toolmaker. Stacker of wheat. Not too long that it... Because, again, this poem is long. I don't need it to take more time than it already does. But listing those out like that, it makes it feel like it's almost off the cuff. Like the speaker of the poem is coming up with that list off the top of his head with that just extra few seconds of pause. Saying it as quick as I did in the competition, hog butcher for the world. Toolmaker. Stacker of wheat. It seems rehearsed. In this poem, I feel the speaker should be akin to the last one, a little anecdotal. So firing those off not so fast, I think, would aid this poem. Anyway.
Player with railroads and the nation's freight handler. Stormy, husky, brawling, city of the big shoulders. They tell me you are wicked, and I believe them, for I have seen your painted women under the gas lamps luring the farm boys. And they tell me you are crooked, and I answer, yes. It is true, I have seen the gunmen.
I lose the T on that it there. It is true. It is true. Again, the T, though, I need to be careful to not overpronounce it because the stress should be on the is. It is true. It. I lost it at the performance there a little bit, so just want to be careful about that.
Kill and go free to kill again. And they tell me you are brutal, and my reply is...
Maybe slow down there. Those kind of seem to blend together, and they tell me you are brutal. Maybe just hit the T and that might break it up, and they tell me you are brutal. But again, I don't need to emphasize that, I just need to make sure every word is coherent.
On the faces of women and children, I have seen the marks of want and hunger.
And then the I have, that was pretty quick. The emphasis on the have would slow that down. So in the next round, I should probably perform it more closely to something like, I have seen the marks of, not that emphasized, but, you know, I have seen the marks of want and hunger. Just to make sure those words are two distinct, separate words.
And having answered so, I turn once more to those who sneer at this, my city, and I give them back the sneer and say to them, come and show me another city, with lifted head, singing, so proud to be alive, and coarse and strong and cunning, flinging magnetic curses amid the toil of piling job on job. Here is a tall, bold slugger, set vivid against the little, soft cities. Fierce.
Okay, maybe a little more on vivid. Set vivid against the little, soft cities. That was largely pretty good, though. I'm pretty happy with that. If I kept that the same, I think it'd be pretty good.
As a dog, with tongue lapping for action, cunning as a savage pitted against the wilderness.
And that one too, there's humor in that one. Cunning as a savage, that's almost oxymoronic, but I didn't play it that way, you know. I gave this simile as much merit as fierce as a dog. So maybe to amplify the humor, I could say that with a little joking tone, you know. Cunning as a savage, pitted against the wilderness. I mean, pitted against the wilderness, a savage would be quite cunning, but this on its own, cunning as a savage, you know, savages aren't cunning. There's some humor in there that is lost in the performance, but oh well.
Bareheaded. Shut.
And this here, okay. I did not have this poem as memorized and as confident as I would have liked it to be moving into this competition. On the car ride down, I was poring over it, looking it over and over. I was so scared I was going to forget something because I memorized it largely in the 2 days before the competition. So this little pause between savage pitted against the wilderness and bareheaded is not deliberate. I just forgot that the bareheaded part was next and I needed to take a minute to think. I'll back it up so you can see for yourself.
Against the wilderness. Bareheaded.
Like what are you doing, dude? That needs to come a little quicker. Because any longer and it would have been obvious I didn't know what I was doing, but I was right on the brink. I that came to me just in time, but still the pause is a little too long to be comfortable, in my opinion.
Shoveling. Wrecking. Planning. Building. Breaking. Rebuilding.
And that list feels flat as well, you know, just listing it off like that. All of those words have emotions connected to them, you know, bareheaded, shoveling, wrecking, planning, building, breaking, rebuilding. Slows it down a little bit, but still, I think that might pack more of a punch.
Under the smoke, dust all over his mouth, laughing with white teeth. Under the terrible burden of destiny, laughing as a young man laughs.
Make that one a little more optimistic as well, you know. Under the terrible burden of destiny, laughing as a young man laughs, you know, a little more proud instead of just stating a fact almost.
Laughing even as an ignorant fighter laughs, who has never lost a battle.
Okay, the pride comes through on that one, so I guess it kind of was like a first poem situation where I kind of felt it out and then found the right tone halfway through after it mattered. Well, it still mattered here, it's just I would have liked it a little earlier on this line as well.
Bragging and laughing that under his wrist is the pulse, and under his ribs the heart of the people, laughing the stormy, husky, brawling laughter of youth, half naked, sweating, proud to be.
Little pause between the sweating and proud. half naked, sweating, proud to be. Perhaps?
Hog butcher, toolmaker, stacker of wheat.
And again, every time I perform this, I try to make this list the same as the first list. And because the first list was fast, so was the last one. But if I slow it down, make the first one, hog butcher for the world, toolmaker, stacker of wheat. Then the end, make it sound like the beginning. I like that touch, half naked, sweating, proud to be, hog butcher, toolmaker, stacker of wheat. Instead of breezing through it like I did up on stage here, I just like that a little better.
Player with railroads and freight handler to the nation.
Make the to the nation a little bigger too, Freight handler to the nation. I didn't like that how I just did it then. Freight handler to the nation. Putting a little too much on nation. I'll play around with it though. That's a line I can improve on, I think. And then, you heard me say in the intro, at states, I'm not reciting 1, not reciting 2, but possibly 3. Out of the 10 competitors, there are 5 moving on to the next round. So, only half of the people there are going to get to perform the secret third poem. So, I need to make sure I'm okay with that too, but after looking this over, I can hammer it out, rehearse it until it's replicatable every single time, and then I think I should be in good shape. So, thank you for coming along this journey with me. I hope to see you on Wednesday.